Wow, a super special day. Hello, explorers. Are you ready for an adventure? Today, we are going on a trip through time. We are going to discover a very special day. That day is July 12th. Wow, so many exciting things have happened on July 12th all through history. It's like a secret treasure chest, full of amazing stories. We just need to open it up and peek inside. Are you curious to see what we will find? I know I am. Let's hold hands and jump into our magic time machine. Zoom! Imagine all the years that have passed. Hundreds and hundreds of years. On every single July 12th, something was happening somewhere in the world. Maybe a king was having a party. Maybe a brave explorer was discovering a new land. Or perhaps a famous artist was painting a beautiful picture. The world is so big and full of wonders. July 12th is just one day, but it holds so many different stories. It's like a giant puzzle, and we get to find the pieces. Doesn't that sound like fun? Why is it so much fun to learn about the past? Well, history helps us understand how things came to be. It tells us about people, just like you and me, who lived long ago. They had dreams and adventures just like we do. Learning their stories can be super interesting. It can also teach us important lessons. Plus, history is full of surprises. You never know what amazing fact you might discover next. Are you ready to be a history detective with me? Let's find out what makes July 12th so special. So put on your explorer hats and grab your magnifying glasses. We are about to uncover some fantastic secrets from July 12th. We will learn about kings and queens. We will hear about amazing music. We will even meet some very brave people. Each story is like a little piece of magic. And who knows? Maybe one day, you will make history on July 12th too. What an exciting thought that is. Let's begin our journey into the past, friends. Our adventure starts right now. Our first stop on our July 12th adventure takes us to a big castle. Can you picture it? Tall towers, strong walls, and colorful flags flying in the breeze. Inside this castle, many years ago, lived a very famous king. His name was King Henry VIII. He was the King of England. And on July 12th in the year 1543, something very important happened to him. King Henry VIII got married. Yes, a real king had his wedding on this very day. Imagine all the excitement in the castle. This was not just any wedding. It was a royal wedding. King Henry VIII was marrying a lady named Catherine Parr. She was going to be his sixth wife. Wow, that's a lot of queens. The castle must have been decorated beautifully. There were probably bright flowers everywhere, and lots of yummy food for the wedding feast. Trumpets might have played a special song when Catherine Parr walked down the aisle. What do you think her wedding dress looked like? Maybe it was made of silk and gold threads. King Henry VIII was a very powerful ruler, so his wedding was a big event for the whole country of England. People would have been talking about it for weeks. Maybe there were parades in the streets. Or perhaps people gathered outside the castle, hoping to get a peek at the new queen. A king getting married was a very public thing. It was not just a private family party. It was a moment that everyone in the kingdom shared in some way. It showed that the kingdom was stable and strong. Think about how exciting it must have been. A king, a new queen, a beautiful castle, and a huge celebration. July 12th was certainly a memorable day for King Henry VIII and Catherine Parr. It was a day of joy and new beginnings for them. And it became a little piece of history that we can learn about today. Isn't it amazing how a wedding day from so long ago can still be remembered? You might be wondering, why was a king's wedding such a big deal? That's a great question. Well, in those olden days, a king or queen getting married was super important for many reasons. It wasn't just about love, like in fairy tales. For King Henry VIII, marrying Catherine Parr was also about making his kingdom strong. A queen could help the king. She could also give the kingdom an heir, which means a prince or princess to rule after the king. This was very important for keeping the country peaceful. Catherine Parr was a very kind and smart lady. She was a good influence on King Henry VIII. She even helped him mend his relationships with his daughters, Mary and Elizabeth. Imagine that. A new stepmother helping the family get along better. That's a really wonderful thing. So this wedding on July 12th wasn't just a fancy party. It brought some peace and happiness to the royal family. And that was good for everyone in England. A happy royal family often meant a happier kingdom for all the people. Also, when a king married, It often showed other countries that England was strong and stable. It was like saying, "Look, our king has a new queen, and our kingdom is doing well." This could help prevent wars or disagreements with other rulers. So, a royal wedding could be a very clever move. It was about love, yes, but also about politics and keeping the peace. Isn't it interesting how one event can have so many different meanings? It's like a puzzle with many pieces. So when we look back at King Henry VIII marrying Catherine Parr on July 12, 1543, we see more than just a wedding. We see a moment that affected a whole country. It brought a new queen to the people. It helped the royal family. And it sent a message to the world. That's why historians remember this day. It's a little snapshot of how life and leadership worked a long, long time ago. What do you think was the most exciting part of a royal wedding back then? Zoom! Let's travel forward in time but still stay on July 12th. Now we are in America in the year 1817. On this very day, a very special baby boy was born. His name was Henry David Thoreau. Maybe you've heard of him? He grew up to be a super famous writer and a thinker. He loved nature more than anything. He liked to watch the birds, the trees, and the animals in the woods. He found so much wonder in the simple things around him every single day. Henry David Thoreau didn't just like nature. He wrote beautiful things about it. He wrote about how important it is to live simply. He believed that people didn't need lots of fancy things to be happy. Instead, he thought happiness could be found by walking in the woods, or by listening to the sounds of a pond, or by just sitting quietly and thinking. What a lovely idea. Imagine spending your days exploring forests and writing down all your amazing thoughts about the world. One of his most famous books is called Walden. In this book, he wrote about the time he spent living in a little cabin he built himself. It was near a pond called Walden Pond. He lived there for 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days. He wanted to see if he could live a very simple life, close to nature. He grew his own food and spent his time observing the world around him. He learned so much from the plants, the animals, and the changing seasons. He wanted to share these lessons with everyone. So, July 12th is not just a day for kings and queens. It's also a birthday for a man who taught us to look closely at the world. He showed us that there is beauty and wisdom all around us, especially in nature. He encouraged people to think for themselves and to live lives that were true to their own hearts. What an inspiring person to celebrate on this day. Do you like spending time in nature? What's your favorite thing to do outdoors? Section 5. Thinking about nature and simple things. Henry David Thoreau, who was born on July 12th, really made people think. He made them think about how they were living their lives. He asked big questions like, what do we really need to be happy? Do we need big houses and lots of toys? Or can we find joy in watching a sunset or listening to birds sing their morning songs? He believed that nature was a great teacher. It could teach us about patience, about beauty, and about how everything is connected in the world. His book Walden became very famous. It made people dream about living a simpler life. It made them want to go out and explore the natural world. Think about it. He built his own little house in the woods. He grew his own beans. He watched the ice melt on the pond in spring. He wrote about all these little things, but he made them sound so magical and important. He showed that even the smallest ant or the quietest corner of the forest has a story to tell if we just stop and listen. Thoreau also believed in standing up for what is right. He wrote an essay called Civil Disobedience. In it, he said that people should not follow laws if they think those laws are unfair. This was a very brave idea. His writings inspired many other important people later in history, people who fought for fairness and justice. So, he wasn't just a nature lover. He was also a very brave thinker who wanted to make the world a better place for everyone to live in. So, on July 12th, when we remember Henry David Thoreau's birthday, we can think about his important ideas. We can think about taking a walk outside. We can look at the trees and the sky. We can listen to the sounds around us. Maybe we can even try to live a little more simply, just like he suggested. What is one simple thing in nature that makes you feel happy? Perhaps it's a fluffy cloud, a colorful flower, or the sound of rain. Nature is full of wonderful gifts for us. Section 6, Rock and Roll History begins. Fast forward again. Whoosh! Now we are in London, England. The year is 1962, and on July 12th, something super exciting happened for music lovers. A brand new band played their very first show. Can you guess who it was? It was the Rolling Stones. Wow! They would become one of the most famous rock and roll bands in the whole wide world. But on this July 12th, they were just starting out. They were young musicians with big dreams of sharing their music. Imagine being there at their very first concert. It was at a place called the Marquee Club. Maybe the club was small and crowded. The band members, like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, were probably a little bit nervous, but they were also super excited to play their songs for an audience. They played blues music, which was a style they loved. They played with so much energy and passion. The people who were there that night had no idea they were watching history being made. The Rolling Stones had a sound that was new and different. It was loud. It was energetic. It made people want to get up and dance. Their music was raw and full of feeling. In the beginning, not everyone understood their style. Some people thought it was too wild, but many young people loved it. It was music that spoke to them. It was the sound of a new generation. And it all started with that one little gig on July 12th. Think about how many famous songs they wrote after that first show. Songs like I Can't Get No, Satisfaction, and Start Me Up. Millions and millions of people all over the world have listened to their music. They have played in giant stadiums for huge crowds. But it all began in that small club on that special July 12th. It shows that even the biggest things can start small. All it takes is a dream, some talent, and a little bit of rock and roll. Section 7. Music that got everyone dancing. So, the Rolling Stones played their first show on July 12, 1962. Why was that so important for music? Well, they helped change rock and roll music forever. They brought a new kind of energy. They weren't afraid to be a little bit rebellious. Their music was exciting and it made people feel alive. It was music that you couldn't just sit still and listen to. You had to move. You had to dance. You had to sing along as loud as you could. Their songs told stories. Sometimes they were about being young and having fun. Sometimes they were about feeling a little bit misunderstood. Lots of young people could relate to their lyrics and their attitude. The Rolling Stones became symbols of freedom and coolness. They had a unique style, not just in their music, but also in the way they dressed and acted on stage. Mick Jagger's dance moves became legendary. He moved with so much energy all over the stage. The Rolling Stones inspired so many other bands that came after them. They showed that rock music could be powerful and could say important things. They toured all over the world, bringing their music to millions of fans. For decades, they continued to make new albums and perform live shows. Imagine having a band that stays popular for so many years. That's a really amazing achievement. Their music has become a part of history itself, listened to by grandparents, parents, and kids too. So when you hear a Rolling Stones song, remember that their amazing journey started on July 12th. From a small club in London to worldwide fame. It's a reminder that a special day can be the beginning of something huge and wonderful. Music has such a great power to bring people together and make them happy. What's your favorite song to dance to? Does it make you feel as energetic as the Rolling Stones' music made people feel? Music truly is magical. Section 8. A super brave girl's birthday. Let's travel to a different part of the world for another July 12th celebration. This time, we are celebrating a birthday. On July 12, 1997, a very brave and inspiring girl named Malala Yousafzai was born in Pakistan. Malala loved going to school. She believed that all children, especially girls, should have the right to get an education. She thought learning was so important. She dreamed of a world where every child could read and write and learn about the world. In the place where Malala lived, some people did not want girls to go to school. They tried to stop them. This made Malala very sad and very determined. Even though she was very young, she started to speak up. She wrote a blog, like an online diary, about her life and her wish for girls to be educated. She was so brave to share her thoughts with the world. She knew it could be dangerous, but she believed so strongly in what she was saying. She wanted to make a difference. Because she spoke out, some bad people tried to hurt her. It was a very scary time, but Malala survived. And she became even stronger. She did not give up on her dream. Instead, she continued to speak up for education for all children around the world. She traveled to many countries. She spoke to leaders. She told them how important it is for every child to have the chance to learn. She became a symbol of courage and hope for millions of people. Malala Yousafzai even won a very special award called the Nobel Peace Prize. She was the youngest person ever to receive it. Wow, that is truly amazing. So on July 12th, we celebrate her birthday. We remember her incredible bravery. We remember her powerful message that education can change the world. Malala shows us that even one young person can make a huge difference. What is something you feel strongly about? Something you would want to speak up for? Section 9. So many July 12th adventures. Wow, what an incredible journey we've had through July 12th. We visited a king's wedding in a grand castle from long, long ago. We learned about King Henry VIII and his new queen, Catherine Parr. We saw how a royal wedding was more than just a party. It was important for the whole kingdom. It brought hope and stability. It's amazing to think about events from so many hundreds of years ago still being talked about today. History truly keeps these stories alive for us. Then, we celebrated the birthday of Henry David Thoreau, a man who loved nature and simple living. He taught us to look for beauty all around us, in the trees, the ponds, and the quiet moments. His words still inspire people to connect with the natural world and to think deeply about how they live. He showed us that big ideas can come from quiet observation and from being true to oneself. What a wonderful lesson for all of us to remember from his life. We also rocked out with the Rolling Stones. We learned that their very first concert was on July 12th. From a small club in London, they grew to become one of the biggest bands in the world. Their music changed rock and roll and got everyone dancing. It's a fantastic reminder that great things often have small beginnings. And we celebrated the birthday of Malala Yousafzai, a truly brave girl who stands up for education for all children. Her courage inspires people everywhere. July 12th is just one day in the year, but look at all the amazing stories it holds. Kings, writers, musicians, and brave young heroes. History is full of these incredible moments and people. Every day has its own special stories waiting to be discovered. So keep being curious, keep asking questions, and keep exploring the amazing adventure of the past. Who knows what other wonders you will find? The world of history is always open for new explorers like you.